Vic Morrow was killed today as he ran along a hillside during a shooting sequence for his latest movie.
40 years ago, a Hollywood star was decapitated while shooting a scene for a movie. The actor was Vic Morrow, the veteran star of the TV series Comp. He was killed along with child actors Renee, Chen, and Myca by a falling helicopter during the filming of The Twilight Zone. Welcome to the WeirdSide. Today we will be talking about this movie incident. Some time ago, it was exposed that a Chinese director had made a film about a military dog in his early years. In the film, a decorated retired military dog was blown up for the sake of realism. Years later, he talked about the incident. He was so proud of it that it caused a lot of criticism on the internet. In fact, in the history of filmmaking, there have been many directors who have disregarded the safety of their actors in order to achieve the so-called realistic effects. Such a tragic accident also occurred on the set of O's film in the 1980s. In 1982, a human tragedy occurred on the set of the American film Twilight Zone. One of the movie's plot points was an American man called Bill Connor. He travels back in time and experiences firsthand suffering of people in different countries during war. He then completely changes his prejudice against people of different nationalities. And in one of the scenes, he travels to a Vietnamese village and experiences the nightmare of being attacked by the American army. In one scene, Connor, with his two Vietnamese children, wading out of the water to escape the American helicopters. Computer animation technology did not exist at the time, so everything was filmed on real-time on set. The director, Landis, insisted on using a real helicopter, despite the objections of the crowd. No cables. The helicopter was literally hovering above the actors for filming. To achieve a realistic explosion, he asked for double the amount of gunpowder used in the explosion. He was reminded by an assistant that, given the height of the helicopter, the impact of the explosives on the ground could cause a crash. But the director ignored this warning. He continued to do as he pleased. On the very night that the scene was shot, Vic Morrow, the actor who plays the lead role, carried the two young actors and rushed out of the burning village. The two young actors were Renee Chen, a 6-year-old Chinese girl, and Myca, a 7-year-old boy of Vietnamese descent. Both of their parents were on scene. The director assured them on the day they would not use any props that would threaten the children's safety during filming. But when the shooting began, violent explosion and flames went up very close to the three actors. The two children were instantly frightened. The actor Vic Morrow was so nervous that his face was contorted. He ran as fast as he could with the two children in his arms. Let's see what really happened on that day. Don't forget to like this video, as most likely I will get dismonetized for putting this in my video. Jokes aside, let's see how terrific was this scene.
Small children were killed when the chopper came down as they were shooting a war scene.
The helicopter crashed just before 2:30 in the Indian Dunes Park as a Warner Brothers...
As they run into the river, it's time for the helicopter to come out. The armed helicopter, piloted by a Vietnam veteran, entered the scene. The pilot was supposed to be flying at a height of about 10 meters for safety, but the director, Landis, apparently felt that the scene lacked impact, so he kept shouting with his loudspeaker to get the helicopter lower and lower.
Got bombed out of the sky. The first blast it went off, they kept saying, get lower, lower, and then the blast went off.
The helicopter eventually descended to only 7.5 meters above the ground. It was almost on the verge of landing on the three actors. At that moment, another prop bomb was detonated next to the actors. The flames and impact destroyed the small propeller on the tail of the helicopter. The helicopter loses its balance. It lurched in the direction of the three actors, and then it came crashing down. The main propeller on the top of the helicopter swept over the actors in one fell swoop. Then the helicopter slammed down hard on top of them. The three actors were killed instantly. The 6 crew members on the plane were all seriously injured and wailing. The scene could only be described as horrific. Everyone in the audience was dumbfounded, followed by heartbreaking screams and tears from the families of the two children. After the accident, all 5 staff members, including the director, were charged with negligent homicide. The protracted legal battle lasted almost 10 years, but all the defendants were eventually acquitted. But although there are no exact figures, it is reported that the families of both children were paid millions of dollars in compensation. This tragedy has led to the introduction of new laws restricting the use of child actors and actresses, and the Motion Picture Association has created new stricter standards for safety practices, improving the overall safety of the film industry. Hopefully, The safety regimens put in place after the deaths of Morrow, Renee, and Myca 40 years ago will keep any accidents from befalling the cast and crew of another Warner Brothers production. That's the end of the video. You are now watching the WeirdSide, and I will see you on the other side.